So, Joe Rogan and The Rock recently had a conversation about Bruce Lee. And while it was full of praise, and rightly so, there's something deeper that they, like so many others, might be missing. Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Rebel. Welcome to I Love Jeet Kune broadcast number 367. This is the one about what Joe Rogan and The Rock get right and what they miss about Bruce Lee. As you're logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, hit the like button and feel free to continue doing so throughout the broadcast. If you are catching the simulcast over on the YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. But of course, the best thing you can do is to share this video and spread the word about the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast. All right, so I'm going to do this in like maybe 3 or 4 parts. So the first part, I titled it, the icon is more than a symbol. So this is what Rogan and The Rock, this is what they got right, okay? So Bruce Lee did shift the paradigm. Bruce Lee had tons of charisma that could stop time, and he had an electrifying screen presence, without a doubt. But there's a narrative that gets repeated a lot, and it showed up in this Rogan/Rock conversation. And that is the idea that Bruce Lee opened the door for Asian actors in Hollywood. And look, I get it, right? I can understand why that was said, and even understand why the people who said it did say it. But it is a myth. And here's the reality. Bruce Lee cracked open the door, yes. But Hollywood pretty much slammed it shut after he passed. Enter the Dragon came out in 1973, and it made history. Bruce Lee was the first Asian male lead in a Hollywood-backed martial arts film. But he died, a month or so before the movie premiered in the US, and there wasn't really any follow-through. Hollywood didn't suddenly or immediately start casting more Asian leads. It could be said they just went right back to usual business. Now, the popularity of martial arts films, that did explode, but that was thanks mostly to the import market. The Hong Kong cinema flooded, what do they call them, grindhouses, right? And the Hong Kong cinema flooded the VHS shelves. So we got my boys, my favorite people, Chan Quan Tai, Alexander Fusheng, Gordon Liu, otherwise known as Liu Chia-hu, and of course Jackie Chan. But they were not Hollywood products. They were Hong Kong exports. And it took until the late 1990s, 1998, I think, for Jackie Chan to finally break through in Hollywood with Rush Hour, because Battle Creek Brawl Battle Creek Brawl, and what was the other one? Rumble in the Bronx. Those things didn't make anything. So it was 98. This is 25 years after Bruce Lee's death. So no, Bruce Lee did not throw the doors wide open for Asian actors. What he did show was what was possible. He reframed what an Asian man could look like on screen: dynamic, philosophical, powerful. But he himself didn't get to build on that image, and Hollywood, wasn't really ready to run with it. The real breakthrough came when audiences, not studios, started demanding more. And that's when Hollywood had no choice but to acknowledge the global influence of the Asian martial arts cinema. So we could perhaps cease saying that Bruce Lee opened the door, and instead rephrase it as Bruce Lee kicked the door, but then the rest of the Asian actors, they pried it open and they kept it open, right? Okay, so here's the second thing. And Rogan, being who he is, and his position with the UFC and his position in the MMA/BJJ world, right, would have to bring this up. and it was all about Bruce Lee and training in MMA. And Joe Rogan said that Bruce Lee would crush it in MMA. Okay, so again, I agree, but only to a point. What Joe is talking about is the fact that Bruce Lee had across the board martial arts skills. He could strike, he could grapple, and he had an incredible work ethic. So, based on that alone, it is safe to assume that Bruce Lee would have crushed it in MMA. But this is where this is the nuance that gets missed. Bruce Lee wasn't looking for a rule set to dominate. Bruce Lee was trying to transcend rules altogether. So, as has been said by many people, MMA is a sport, but Jeet Kune Do is a process. So, Bruce Lee wasn't trying to fit into someone else's system, be it martial art, be it mixed martial art. Bruce Lee was trying to find, for his era, the truth in combat by shedding the very idea of system. So, yes, would he have done well in MMA based on his physical prowess? I think so. But more importantly than that, Bruce Lee would have evolved. Okay? So, this is the last part. The real legacy is Jeet Kune Do as a philosophy. And this, in my opinion, is where the conversation should go a little bit more often. Not just Bruce Lee, the athlete. But see, guys like Rogan and The Rock, they can't really take it beyond that. Um, I mean, they might try to even bring it up to Bruce Lee, the philosopher. But take it a step further. Bruce Lee, the synthesizer, and I don't mean like a Moog synthesizer or whatever. I mean someone who saw patterns, who broke limitations, and created essentially a living method for growth. So Jeet Kune Do, we've talked about this in various forms, um, about preservation and what have you. Jeet Kune Do is not a museum piece. It's not even a highlight reel, since we're talking movies. Jeet Kune Do is a challenge. Jeet Kune Do is a mirror. Jeet Kune Do is a lens through which we examine ourselves. So that's the part that can get missed very often when celebrities pay tribute to other celebrities, because they're not Jeet Kune Do insiders. So that's why I'm here as a Jeet Kune Do insider, right? Because you and I know that there's more to it. So the next time you hear somebody talking about Bruce Lee, listen carefully, right? And then ask yourselves this, or even ask them, are they talking about a man, or are they describing a myth? Are they praising what he did, or are they exploring what he meant? And because Bruce Lee didn't just leave behind fantastic film scenes and quotes and notes and all that, Bruce Lee left behind a way to live, a way to think, a way to move, a way to evolve. And that's what we aim to preserve and explore here on the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcasts. So, what say you? Let me know what you think in the comments below. That's all I'm going to say in this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods and on Instagram at Dwight D. Woods. At paypal.me/unified MA Miami, paypal.me/unified MA Miami. The Jeet Kune Do Journey Volume 1 is available, paypal.me/unified MA Miami. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Also, go over to JKD Drills and like and follow that page so that when we get it up and running, you'll be among the first to be notified. Tomorrow, do I have a graphic? No, I don't. But tomorrow, and it has to be at a different time. We're not starting until 8 p.m. Eastern time. So for Mark Black and Joe Jacobs and Steve Mosley and Mick Tully and Terry Valor, all the guys in the UK, this is going to be at 1 o'clock in the morning for them. So I don't expect them to be live on that one. But I will be talking with a guy that I only just met. Josh Gomez is his name, and he's somewhat of a lesser known, accord by my standards, because I only just met him. But he's a Bruce Lee collector, right? And so we're going to talk to him tomorrow. But it's at 8 p.m. Eastern time, a lot later than we usually go on. But there will be a show. All right. So that today is Beige, Brown, and Pink Day. There you go. Right. And so I'll see some of you maybe at tomorrow night at 8 p.m. If not, I'll see you next week for another issue of the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast. Until then, this is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Rebel, signing off. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will talk soon. Take care.